welcome back to the month of Fab, everybody. Lift Dark Studios. We are getting ready for a railing install that I forgot was actually tomorrow, but Tyler reminded me. That was a test. Way to pay attention. But because I'm already thinking about it, we're just going to go ahead and load all these handrails on the Isuzu so that tomorrow morning when we go to install, we don't have to do this. So just get ahead of ourselves a little bit. Coat the bottom of the truck in these blankets, and then we'll nest everything in here. Very exciting start to the day, I know. Extremely excited. It's coming. It's coming.
Leave me alone! I'm not shipping anymore!
The orders have calmed down, so the spikes were released.
Yeah, then start throwing them in the trash. All right.
It's time for aluminum.
Aluminium.
Some aluminium.
As our friends across the pond say.
Yeah, sure. Are you from London?
Yay, crocky.
What's your best British accent?
I don't have one.
That's
American.
the right answer.
Silly, uncultured Americans.
Yeah, so I just wipe down the table, wipe down the rails, filled up the water. Now it's time to put
Aluminum on it.
Yeah.
Let's see how heavy aluminum is. So this project is, now that I'm more awake, this project is some beauty screens we're cutting for Virginia Tech. And I hope that we can show you all this and say all that. If not, these are some beauty screens we're cutting to go around some generators at a local university. Basically, the simple cut, there is going to be a border cut, right? But essentially there's going to be a bunch of slots cut in it this way, and then some perimeter holes cut in it this way. I think it's only 3 on either side. And then a border cut. And we do that 10 times, and we'll see together how bad the dross is. Ready to get Cindy?
Almost. I want to make sure that I have the file set up right.
Cool.
Which I'm pretty sure I do. But...
Well, I'll leave this here for you. I'm gonna start, actually,
put it on.
I got it. I'm on it. I'm gonna dig out some material to start a machining project. Get back on the MR1 a little bit today. What I have to do, I think I explained this a few days ago in a video, but I gotta make a drill guide so my buddy can drill some holes in acrylic sheet perfectly straight and perpendicular. I'm not really a metallurgist, so I don't know if that's anything different than just mild steel, but pretty good cut, pretty square cut. Just machining one part for now. I'm gonna go do some programming on the computer for this part. But there's the stock, so the 2x2 solid square tube, or solid square bar rather, 8 inches long. And I haven't taken any actual measurements. I wonder how close to 2 inches it is. I'd say that's exactly 2 inches. Plasma cutter's running all day behind me, cutting out these panels. Tyler's over there cleaning them up. And then they land on that pallet, and then we'll be taking them to CNC fabricators to get bent. And then we get them back, and then we weld the middle part in, and then we bring them back to them to get powder coated. Back and forth, but trying to use what we got. Busy day. I finally finished this part. Anyway, this part's done, and Cam just got here from Black Dog, so he can explain what it's for. But basically, I started with an 8-inch long 2x2 piece of solid steel that I had. I actually have a whole bar of it. And I drew the part in CAD and went to go machine it. I crashed the machine twice. There he is. Crashed the machine twice because I was using the wrong method. I was just trying to carve straight through at different depths, and it just couldn't handle the chip load. So I ended up doing an adaptive clearing pass where it just came through like this and just took little bits out of it. So then I ran that, and then I realized that there was a setting check that said leave 0.02 inches of stock on the axial and radial direction. I don't know why that's an option, because if you specify a size of a channel that you want, it's a precision machine. It's like, cut the channel I need. So I went to go fit it and it didn't fit. And then I texted Cam and I was like, hey, stand by. And then I reran it. Lazily, I could have made it faster, but it took 35 minutes to rerun it. But now look at this.
Ooh. Okay, I have to blur this.
Well, Cam, can you take his mic and put it on him? Do you mind? How are you, buddy?
Good, buddy.
Oh.
How you doing?
Good.
Oh, it's a
Sweating.
good-looking one-time use thing you got there. It's pretty.
Is it heavy enough?
I think so.
What are you guys building that you need to drill? I guess this is the sample piece you brought.
Yeah, so this is from a local credit union, and they're remodeling right now. So this is the bulletproof glass that they had in there.
Which is really just acrylic. It's not glass.
Yeah, it's
but
just thick acrylic.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of that left over. It's cool material. So we built a conference table that's going to have, it's a walnut top with 4 square legs on it. And then we got a solid acrylic table
wow.
with the logo CNC cut in the top, and then 2 sort of like hourglass looking bases.
Oh, cool.
So this is like just a test we did. So the thing about this stuff is, you know, the attachment mechanism is going to be very visible since it's see-through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be perfect. It's a little more than just, you know, taking
Squint
a square,
your eyes and go
just
for it.
drilling it. So before we mess that stuff up, we got to fabricate this really nice one-time use piece so that we can line it up dead center on there. I got to drill 3 holes into the top of each leg. So it's my job now to make sure that they're in line perfectly, but this is going to keep the drill straight.
So keep it straight and level. I mean, perpendicular.
Yeah, yeah. And it's going to be got really pretty like brass, large-headed hardware for this, and it's
Cool.
gonna look good. I hope. I just didn't want to mess anything up in the process. So
You know what this will probably
really
help with too is this stuff chipping out.
I think so. I think it's sitting, because we tried, when we drilled it by hand, it did chip out with, this is a 13/32 hole right here.
Yeah.
It did chip out around the hole.
I have a 13/32 bit. Do you want to try
We can try it,
a
yeah.
sample one?
I'd
I
like
mean,
to,
it's the one
I'd
that
like to see.
Yeah, it's the one that goes in the machine, but we can definitely try it.
Otherwise, we could fire off a shot in a conference.
Do you have, I assume you have some?
Yeah.
Also not cool, man. A shooting joke, really? On camera, on a family channel?
I'm gonna clamp it. Dang, that's some precision.
Pretty tight fit, right?
That's awesome, yeah. I will still mark top and bottom on that.
What's that?
I said I will still mark top and bottom.
Yeah.
It should be all right though.
I guess just hold that for me real quick. Oh yeah.
think that'll do it.
I think
It's
it will.
perfect, man.
Look at that. No chipping or anything.
Hardly even shows up on camera.
That's great.
Now I just gotta transfer a line, you know, from here up
Yeah,
there.
I was thinking about that. I mean, you could really just, like if you just draw a line across with a square
Yeah.
and look down through, is that, like, you know, draw your line this way.
Can you see down in there? Like if I had a hole marked,
Yeah,
I think it's perfect, dude.
you can see that, right? Look down in there and see that line. I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tolerance is just right. I'm glad we went that
Yeah.
size. You know, the same size.
Yeah, well, you can always make it bigger.
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
make it smaller.
Yeah.
So I figured try it. The key there is put the drill bit all the way down in the hole first
Pull it out slightly.
before
yeah.
you start spinning. Yeah, because we talked about too making a slice, like slicing this sort of down to about here, so you could see the line, but
Yeah.
I don't think you
it'll be
need
just
it.
fine.
Yeah. I mean, this way you might be just 30-second off one way or another, but at
Yeah.
least it's straight through.
It should be fine.
Yeah.
Should be. I'm
Should.
gonna be doing this.
Oughta.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I have some stamps. Do you want to put anything in it while we're here?
Just like a top, like an orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have a set of those at the shop. I don't know what happened to them.
Oh, is there no
Are
tea?
those them?
Yeah, these are old from the machine shop. There's no tea.
Do an X or something on top, you know?
I got tiny ones. Up. How about that? We can do up.
Yeah.
UP. Which on this side?
Do it on the side.
Like here?
No, like here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this one was an R and somebody made it into a P. That's funny. Up.
That's satisfying.
Right? That's some hard steel, dude.
Is it?
Jesus.
Is it cold rolled?
I have no idea. That piece of bar stock,
It's got some sharp edges on it.
yeah, I bet it is. It measured it when I mic'd it out to dimension it. It literally like came up to like 1.99, and then the dial rolled right to the 0. Like it is exactly 2 inches by 2 inches.
It's
So that was some
machining steel.
It was some machining stuff that they had back in the machine shop days. I
Cool.
have 6 feet of it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
So we can do more.
Yep.
Cool.
I left a little rust on there just so you guys feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The precision's already making me feel a little uncomfortable here. So.
Yeah, right.
Why'd you take this off? Here?
I didn't on purpose. The
Okay.
machine decided to do that on its own.
It's a nice little
Yeah.
feature.
I don't know. That one, the MR1 chose that destiny.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Thank you, buddy.
You want that back too?
I want to fool around with it. I
Yeah.
think, you know. So
Use it as a training.
it's my last training piece I got.
Yep.
Sweet.
Awesome. All right, so Spike and Tyler really kicked some ass today and got all these panels prepped. So that's the A side, and the one with all the grinding marks is the B side. But once it's blasted and powder coated, you're not really gonna see any of it. Next step is to take all these over to CNC fabricators, and they're gonna bend. You can see now where the side flanges are gonna be bent. And when this side flange is bent back and the bottom one's bent back, they're actually vertical. The panels will stand vertical. Those flanges and their respective holes are what are gonna index in the blades that Justin and Tyler welded on the columns yesterday. So the columns support everything. They bolt to the ground, and then these panels bolt side to side. Sorry for the wind. But yeah, cool job, interesting job. When these get back from CNC, we're gonna take 1/2 inch by 1 tubing and weave it through these leaves. So we'll push them. Be interested to see how that works, but we'll weave it through this way, vertically, and then we'll tack it to each blade. So that'll give it a lot of rigidity, and it gives it a pretty visually appealing look.
Yeah.
And they're all getting powder coated bronze, I think. But it'd be pretty cool. This would be something that's good to like get a rhythm down and be known for, because we can crank these out for sure.
Yeah.
How was it getting the dross off and stuff?
Getting the dross off was fine. I mean, towards the end, I think one of the bits was starting to go bad, so it was a little bit worse.
Yeah.
And then I started applying too much heat, so they started warping up, but I just took the air gun and cooled it off and then just kept on going.
Yeah.
So it was going pretty quick, and I had to slow down there at the end, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was good. So.
We may have to do a little bit of interior dressing just to get some of that off, but
Yeah, I tried going in with the die grinder going sideways and getting it off, and I mean, I could get most of it, but
that's okay.
some of it couldn't
Just
get.
set them up and give them a quick file. We can go over those later when they come back.
Yeah,
Nice work.
thank you.
It was a busy day. All the machines were cranking all day. And then also, I don't think we filmed any of this, but Tyler had an idea, or I guess Coach Clapper had the idea and
Yeah.
said, hey, go make this. But Tyler and Spike sat down. Spike showed Tyler how to take an image and vectorize it using InRoute, the software that we got with our chop saber. And then did you guys customize this at all? You messed with it for a little bit.
Yeah, we were just kind of making sure the letters were spaced out where they would work, basically.
Yeah.
And I mean, that didn't take but five minutes. That was probably the slowest part about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Was having to go through and space these letters out since it's so small. But yeah, I mean, I had this design on my CAD program, but then had to basically redo it on Spike's because mine's on a hard drive with a different program that I don't have access to anymore. So we had to
Gotcha.
kind of restart and make it for the shop saver.
That's cool. Where's it gonna go?
We have a new locker room that we're getting for our soccer team, and it's going to go hopefully above the door. And if it doesn't fit, then there's one other spot. Clapper said it would work, so
Nice.
somewhere in our locker room.
Has he seen it yet?
He has not.
Cool.
I'm gonna surprise him with it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that is a donation based on all your hard work. So
appreciate it.
that's cool. And I can help you paint it too if you want.
Yeah,
And then this was one, a customer came to us. I'm going to cover this part because it's an address, but this was a guy came to us. He bought an old church and they've turned it into their family residence, which is kind of cool. And this is a sign that goes like, I guess there was a marquee or something out front and it used to say like so-and-so church. So now he just did this with some old English text. We don't do a whole lot of old English text.
I like it now.
It's kind of sick.
it is sick.
I wasn't in the most talkative mood this morning, but I'm feeling better now. Just had a lot to think about. We can leave this in at the end of the video. That way, if people are bored by it, they don't have to watch it. But basically, I had to cut a slot with an end mill. And my thought was just do several passes at a certain depth and then plunge down, do several passes at that depth, and then keep doing that so I kept consulting the cut charts, all the tables and like feeds and speeds for a 1/2 inch 4-flute ferrous metal end mill. And everything was right and it just would start cutting and it was loud as hell. And then it just went and just stopped. Nothing broke, it just stopped and kept trying to like push through the metal. So I'd hit stop and I'd retract, bring it forward, I'd check the bit for damage. There was very little damage, but I was just gonna say, screw it, keep cutting. So then what I realized, I remember somebody reaching out on our Patreon when I was doing the brass. When I was making this part, instead of having just a single cut this way, we ran a program on Fusion called Adaptive Clearing. And it sort of does this spiral pattern through it. It takes a little cut, goes from side to side, down one side, over, back on the other side, and it advances by a certain amount every time. I guess it's a much more gentle way to hog out a bunch of material. It takes longer, but it actually works. So because I remember doing it on this, I was like, oh yeah, I can't just do that. So shout out to whoever that was. Yeah, so adaptive clearing, if you're doing a slot that goes all the way through, not a terminated slot, a slot that goes all the way through a material, do adaptive clearing on the, I think it's 3D adaptive clearing. So once I got that dialed in, we ran it, and then I test fit it, and it didn't fit. So then I look at the settings, and it was like, there was a box that was still checked that said stock to leave. And it left 0.02 inches of stock on the radial and on the axial, which meant that it didn't cut the slot that I needed it to cut. It was actually 0.2 inches too small. I don't know why that feature's there. So I went and unchecked it, and instead of just simplifying the program, I just ran the whole thing again. It basically just skipped down the side and took that extra off. It took another 35 minutes, but I didn't have to, it was either 35 minutes of machine time or 35 minutes of me figuring out how to redesign a part that I had already made. So it all worked out, and it fit perfect, as you saw, and hopefully it allows Cam to do what he needs to do. So another job done for the MR1. So we did that, the aluminum, and Spike did a sign, and Tyler did a sign, and it was a big day. Thank you to our partners, Arc3 Gases, for supporting us here at the shop. We love Arc3. We get to use all sorts of equipment thanks to them, and we buy all of our welding consumables and parts and tools and equipment and abrasives from Arc3 Gases all up and down the East Coast. Amazing support team, and they support us, so you should support them. Go to arc3gases.com and check out what they have for sale. They have a brand new website with all sorts of e-commerce options, so
Real quick,
check it out. Spike's dancing.
oh
Go.
God.
And use code SpikeHateShipping on liftarcstudios.com for 30% off all of our shirts, whichever ones remain for the rest of the month. So not a lot left. And somebody asked me about the Get a Grip vice grip holder. We have not made any more of those because we have not had time. We've been cruising here, so trying to do what we can. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.